Even when it's stormy, when it's threatening to rain, like it did over the night, we will still find a way to get that splash of sunshine into your face on the morning. Welcome. It's the numero uno, the most exciting breakfast television show in Nigeria, Wake Up Nigeria.
And Tuesdays, as always, will be a precursor to the rest of the week. We are the gateway to all the fun, all the amazing things that are going to take place this week. So, yeah, get on this train with us.
I like that, we're the gateway. So imagine gatesman and gatewoman like this. What kind of gate will it be if we were gatekeepers? We are gatekeepers of some sort, ask the media. Yeah. We're gatekeepers. What I'm saying is that if you came into somewhere, a gate, and you saw us, ask the gatekeepers, what kind of gates do you think that would be? Maybe let us know on social media. All right? Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. Let's see. But I definitely would know what kind of gates we feel will be keeping. It will be like one, maybe one pageant of something somewhere, and then the gatekeeper will be waiting for you something.
I go further now, gates of heaven.
No, I would have said gates of heaven, but to be honest, no, I'm not a gatekeeper. No. I'm seated on the throne in heaven, not at the gates.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. You know, in Nigeria, there are a lot of corporations where the gatesman is more important than every other person.
I say I'm seated on the throne, Barbara is.
I'm done. Please come back to us. All right. Well, it's going to be a wonderful Tuesday morning. We're going to get set to give you a wonderful show. My name is Mike Mesikeno.
So we have a whole lot planned out as usual. And it's going to be really bubbly, going to be fun-filled throughout the entire show. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together to be a part of a huge package. So
Definitely.
This is where we kickstart.
Definitely. You can watch the show live. We're streaming online on YouTube. It's at TVC Entertainment. On X, it's TVC Entertainment _. And then you can hit us on all our social media platforms. It's X also, like we had mentioned earlier, Instagram, Facebook, all of them at TVC Entertainment.
Yes, indeed. Watching us now, possibly on GoTV, channel 16, or indeed UHF channel 49 on terrestrial platform. I think it's 121 on Star Times.
All right.
And there's great ways to watch us live.
All right, we have a whole show in store for you today. I'm quite excited. Why? The nervous system of our show would have a big shout out on the show today. We'll watch out for that one. But, well, hey, the art and outcome of family values is what we'll be discussing today on parenting. Yeah? Okay.
Family values, very important conversation. Yes, Adirunke Fasheru is back, a seasoned professional dedicated to empowering individuals to become exceptional leaders. She's really honed her experience and soft skills development and so much more. She's also an author, believe it or not. You don't want to miss that conversation.
Ramanujam, widely known as Rumi. Oh, Titi, you have something to tell us about Rumi?
Rami, it's pronounced Rami.
Oh, Rami.
Spelled Rumi, but
you see why I said you have something to tell us. Tell us.
An esteemed wellness coach, distinguished senior faculty at the esteemed Art of Living Institution. He has over 20 years involvement with the organization. When it comes to transformation of countless individuals, he is the person to talk to. Now, it's about the importance of mindfulness today and being in the moment. That's the conversation on health.
I need to learn that. Being in the moment. Oh, Zen. We've got Hib Adis. I remember him. It's always a pleasure having Hib Adis during Ramadan. He will be here. He is the CEO of Omo Ilorin Original Entertainment, and he'll be giving us a wonderful performance today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I just seized
everyone.
Winfrey's phone. What's Winfrey reading?
What's Winfrey? Really? That is an invasion of privacy.
Auntie, calm down. It's your privacy.
Wow. Okay, so, yeah, I was actually going to talk about that. You know, because phones are such a part of our lives now, I'm just wondering, how did you feel whenever I'm not sure if your parents were ever there when you were on the phone and they wanted to see what you were reading.
My parents?
Yeah, were they
Titi,
involved in your phone?
When phones came out, the first time GSM came out, I'd left the house for 7 years. The first time I ever held the phone, and I was calling my mom, I'd left the house 7 years before that. Wow. But first time, when? 2000? That was when the first phone call was made in Nigeria, like via cell phone, of course. I'm not talking about, of course, the...
Yeah, of course.
I remember that.
Landline.
I remember the phone number we had. Our phone number was black. Black, white. What's our phone number? 0...
Was it Starcoms?
7... I had that phone number in my head for a while.
Multi-link.
Multi-links, have you?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
just
TV
multi-link.
set now.
Sorry, I'm young.
Multi-links.
There was no multi-link score. Nightel. Nightel. There was nothing else. What's all this one you see GSM? Nightel. The guy, bend that, hold that basin. He had the logo.
Wow, yeah, very, very nice.
Someone should tell me something now. Nobody. So Olamide is there. Don't remember that basin. Nightel.
Your age is on display.
Nightel. The guy will not hold the basin like this. That basin will network.
I don't think it was a basin. It was a drum.
Dish or something.
It looked like a drum. Was it a drum or a dish? It was a dish, right?
But yeah, talking about phones and parents.
Yeah.
I would want to say that with kids now these days, where you have kids modes on phones and all of that. I'm still trying to find a way to draw the balance, letting them grow on their own and all of that. But I think it's about for you. You have kids that you. Yeah. It's about finding the balance.
I'm wondering if it's right to look over their shoulder all the time.
Not all the time. That's why I said the balance. There will be times when you might need to.
I might have to.
So, I mean, there are ways you can literally restrict what they can actually go to when you talk about internet and visiting sites and things like that. But I know something my sister actually does. She takes their phone at a particular time at night. Like, she doesn't let them sleep, like, with the phones in their rooms.
And then she goes through everything.
No, I don't think she has that.
Hello and good morning. It's time for a news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Titilayo Oyinson. Thank you for joining us. We begin in Kaduna State, where armed bandits have reportedly attacked another community within Kajuru local government area of Kaduna, abducting at least 87 individuals. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who visited Kaduna, warned that the military will go hard on all those denying the nation peace. Our correspondent, Lupe Asom, reports.
The alarming increase in kidnapping incidents within Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State is disturbing. In the latest attack, at least 87 individuals, including minors and babies, were whisked away from Kajuru station. This incident follows closely on the heels of previous abductions, bringing the total number of kidnapped individuals in less than 2 weeks to 162. The Defense Chief, General Christopher Musa, has come to Kaduna to assess the situation and coordinate efforts to ensure the safe return of those kidnapped. Expressing grave concerns, General Musa emphasized the perpetrators' agenda to undermine the federal and state governments, portraying them as weak.
Abduction, as we know, is a social activity. People are doing it for their own sake. Some are doing it to bring down the government, to make the government look weak. But we guarantee that this will end. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we achieve success, and we will achieve success. We are also trying to stop it, to make sure that it does. But what we require is for Nigerians to give us support. Most times when we get information, it comes in a bit late. Before we react to get there, it is late. But we're happy with the way people are responding. You can see from what happened in Delta State, how Nigerians are responding. Everybody supporting the armed forces and the security forces. That is what will ginger the troops to continue to do more.
He issues a stern warning to the perpetrators, reaffirming the military's unwavering commitment to safeguarding citizens.
But you, the parents, we know you have been spending sleepless nights. We equally are doing the same. We are with you in this. I will continue to be with this. And Your Excellency, want to assure you that we will put in everything possible. We are making some adjustments to ensure that Kaduna is secured. The Northwest is secured, Nigeria is secured. Because everybody is tired of what's going on. And for those individuals that have sworn that there will be no peace, they will have no peace. We will ensure that we follow them up wherever they are. And those ones that are sponsoring them and encouraging them to do the same, for their own good, they should stop.
Here in Kaduna, like I said, we are doing everything so that we protect the lives and properties of our citizens. Because we believe the protection of life and properties of our citizens is the most important responsibility of our government.
As efforts intensify to address the crisis, the collective determination to restore peace and security in Kajuru and beyond remains steadfast. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of a new leadership for the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children Education. Brigadier General Lawal Jafar Issa, retired, is now to serve as chairman of the commission, while Dr. Idris Muhammad Sani is to serve as the executive secretary, CEO. General Jafar is a respected leader and previously served as the military administrator of Kaduna State from 1993 to 1996. Dr. Muhammad Sani holds master's and doctorate degrees in Islamic studies, and he was also the Yobe State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education. The president expects that the new appointees, with their vast experience, will ensure that his administration's drive to guarantee Nigeria's out-of-school children the most comprehensive education is realized in the superseding interests of the nation's future. Thousands of Russians are in Red Square a day after Vladimir Putin won the election with a landslide. The Moscow rally to mark the 10th anniversary of Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. Putin may address the crowds on Sunday. Vladimir Putin won a fifth term as Russian president by a landslide of 87%. He faced no credible opposition as the Kremlin tightly controls Russia's political system, media, and elections. Germany called it a pseudo-election, while the US said the vote is obviously not free nor fair. But China, India, Iran, and North Korea backed the result, with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offering warm congratulations. Ukraine's President Zelensky said Putin was drunk with power and is doing everything to rule forever. That's all we have for the news for this hour. We have quite a bit still coming your way very soon. Stay with us.
We want to talk about the medical situation in Nigeria, which, there's quite a lot that happens in, of course, the medical space. But this just came to my mind. Just yesterday, I saw a video of Amechi Monago. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Amechi Monago?
Yeah, you know him?
Video.
And he apparently he couldn't even speak. He was, from the video, the man who was with him said he had suffered a stroke, diabetes, a few other things, and he was basically almost out. It looked like there was a pipe from his chest or something. I don't know what it was and all that. And I just dropped the phone and I just started thinking, because, we just came off Mr. Ibu's situation. We went through all the motions. A lot of people put together funds, and then he passed, and then there was stuff about mismanagement of funds from his family and all of that. A lot of things just were going through my mind. I felt it because I know how much joy he gave us and all of that. So, but then what we wanted to talk about, that's an aside. What we wanted to talk about was a particular situation. I think this was also on social media, where a young lady who, I think she missed her period. It was a case of 3 months or so, and she went to the hospital for a checkup, and I think she went for a second checkup. And she was okay, and then she was told to come in for an emergency surgery of some sort, maybe not a very serious one, only for the father to, not a surgery, some sort of a diagnostic check, only for the father to receive a call to come to the hospital, and then he sees his daughter in the theater in a pool of blood, dead. And apparently, just while she was in the hospital, she took a class. Like, she came with a laptop. She was well enough to take a class.
And they said that they just needed her to come and do a diagnostic check and
test or something and all of that. And it has happened in different cases. Someone goes to the hospital for something, or they tell you it's going to be something, and then you just come and get back, and then, the person is gone. Just like that. And it's not the first time. And, as much as I want to give kudos to the medical profession, I've always said it here that for me, the medical profession, the health workers are number one after God and all of that. I respect them a lot. But you see, there's that case of negligence and how how they react or how they relate with the loss of human life. I know you've seen it so much, but to a lot of time it's like it's nothing to them, you know.
So I feel like we look at the medical profession in different ways, depending on how you've had to engage with doctors and nurses in the past. From the beginning, so from when you're a child and you maybe your parents take you for your immunization, your checkups, or maybe you have malaria or something like that. In Nigeria, we consider malaria minor, but abroad it's not minor in any way. And the first doctor or nurse you come in contact with, that first experience is sort of what tailors how you view hospitals from then on, how you view the medical profession from then on. Maybe if you have a family member, an uncle, an auntie who works in a hospital or a clinic, and they've engaged with you, and you sort of know, you feel comfortable in that area, maybe you wouldn't understand where Mike is coming from. There are a lot of people who have had terrible experiences working or going to a clinic, going to a diagnostic center, having to wait for hours, maybe even the results coming out might not even be so accurate, such that many people have advised, even if you take a particular type of test here in Nigeria, sometimes you might have to send it abroad for clarifications. There's so many different instances like that. And I feel like we need to look really deeply into the health profession from the very beginning. How are the medical students learning? What sort of environment are they learning in? For instance, the teaching hospitals, what sort of education are they getting from the very beginning? Because it feels like all the great doctors have been poached abroad, and we have maybe not so well trained residents.
Someone said something. I would say the person who said the doctors that we have here, the ones that they wrote exam for, the ones that wrote exam and passed, they've gone.
Wow.
Just by the side there. But you see, I think everything all falls down to the way we value lives as a country, our ethical. How do I put it now? It's the way we value life.
I feel the onus, to be honest, is on the patient or on the person or on you as an individual. Because yes, of course, to a very large extent, yes, the medical system is what the medical system is. We cannot change that, right? They are doing what they are doing. The ones that are doing it right, the ones that think what they're doing is right, the ones that are doing what's wrong, and all of that, right? However, you as a person, you have the responsibility to make sure that you take proper care of your medical processes. What do I mean by that? You have an issue. You step into a hospital, for instance. There are a lot of people that literally have issues and literally just ignore it and don't go to the hospital, or rather do probably like herbal options and all of that, right? But you decide to step into a hospital, and that's awesome. That's great. I understand that. I mean, it's not easy talking about bills and things like that. But then again, when you have a situation where they tell you, they give you a result now, right? You run tests, they give you a result. To be very honest, I grew up, my mom was a nurse, my brother is a doctor, so I've literally not necessarily had to wait in line for certain kind of things. But that is, no, yes, I'm saying saying that, you think I will actually totally trust the medical process. But still, if I get a result, I will get a second opinion. And a third, if the situation seems to be serious, right? I see no reason why anyone or any especially in Nigeria, knowing the way things go, they literally tell you to come in for a surgery. I literally have a friend that has happened to. They literally told, she went in, okay, fine, pains. Like, it wasn't something she was having for a while, but then again, it aggravated. Next thing, emergency surgery. Why do they even... Okay, I guess there are situations where that is needed.
That is required.
Right?
That has
but then again,
lives
emergency
sometimes.
surgeries, she does the first one, the things get worse. And she has to start look like... At that point, she's now looking for another opinion. I'm like, nah, you could have literally done that and all initially before you allow them to open you, because that's
you know what's great in my mind? I have issues with my car, and then I'm thinking about how you have issues with mechanics, and then some are not, some are quacks and all of that. How I'm thinking of the human body, like, oh,
exactly.
Some people are toying with your radiator and are just carry the radiator and connect and all of that.
They hit this one if it works.
This is where do we go from all of this? Nigeria is a place where education is really subsidized. I mean, a medical student, what you pay to go through medical school, if you were to go to medical school outside the country, you'll be paying probably 50, 100 times even more than this. and there is quality because we see how well our people go out.
When they go out.
My mind is still blown. I'll never forget the story of a surgeon or a doctor who took out a child, operated on a child, put the child back, went to full term, and the woman gave birth. We still talk about that and all of that. It's big. So we do have the brains. We do have the brains. I would say, I wish that maybe at some time, we'll talk to a member of NMA or something. Something has to happen to the organization. We need to find a way to value lives even more. Somebody was telling me, a producer on the show was telling me, look, that he went to the hospital and he needed oxygen. He couldn't breathe for 2 hours. Oxygen didn't come. And when oxygen came, they were more concerned about how will you pay
for it than
for the oxygen.
I think the priority, the focus is kind of warped over here. There, they treat first, handle bills later. Do you understand? But then again, now here, they money first before any treatment.
I beg, we need you. We need you. We know. I respect healthcare workers. You are doing a great job. I don't know how to say this, but please find a way to value lives more.
There is just another thing to say, really, just one more thing to say, and that is, let's look to prevention. Let the medical system not happen to you.
Of course, definitely.
Eat healthy, be healthy.
Maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
Work out.
All right. Okay. Stay with us. We'll take a time out now. When we get back, it's Ikorodu Food Fair. I'm very, very excited about that one.
Chef Tina.
We'll be back on the flip side.
Always here with something interesting. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And right now, it's time for us to look at what we have in the front papers. In the front of the papers, or in the front papers.
Papers of the front.
Papers of the front. And I have here with me Mike. Mike, how far?
Well, look at that. Who starts newspaper review by saying how far? What is this world turning to?
Please, I beg, leave and let leave. Don't stress me. All right, so here I have the Vanguard, I have the Punch, I have the Guardian, and of course I have the Nations. All right, and for the major headline here, I have aftermath of soldiers killing, a bloodbath in Delta. Villagers flee, hide in forest. We have that on page 5. At the top of the Vanguard there, on the strip, we have energy crisis, vandalism, death, others hinders 8,000 megawatt supply. We have that report. We have that on page 24. Edo Guba, APC unveils Idahusa running mates. We have that on page 7. Terrorists kidnap 87 in fresh Kaduna attack. We have that on page 27. Nigeria doomed without new constitution. We have that on page 8. Okay, and there we have in front, we have images of the fallen soldiers, photos as released in the defense headquarters, by the defense headquarters. And below that on the left, we have SSANU, NASU, ground versus over withheld salaries. We have that on page 9. Beneath that, we have undersea cable cuts. Service now restored. Telcos, NCC confirmed. We have that on page 8. And yeah, so that's what we have majorly at the front of the Guardian. Mike, what would you say piqued your attention?
You sure so you know where Alpha. Okay, I'm still trying to get some of the stories here. Which did you take just now? I'm just trying to
Vanguard.
Okay, Punch. Let's do the Punch now. Yeah. Army and Delta community defer over reprisal as troops arrest 20. That's talking about the aftermath of the very sad incident in Delta State. The rider underneath that headline goes on to say, Army accuses community of complicity. DHQ releases photos and names of fallen soldiers. May they so rest in peace. We condole with their families and friends. Delta governor visits Okwama, meets with JTF commander, Rep, urges restraint, and IYC condemns attack. And you can see the picture story there. Yeah. This is the picture story of all the fallen soldiers. Yeah. And this is sad to see. And like we said, we commiserate and condole with everybody, every one of them, their families and their friends. Very sad one there. All right, just above the flag of Punch there, dollar supply rises to $11 billion. Naira closes at 1,572 to the dollar. Cable cut. Telcos pledge 100% voice data services today. They don't catch the shark, we go chop the cable.
The cable.
Reps summon Edun and RMAFC over judges' poor pay. All of that tension in Ogun as transport unions clash over ticket sales. 87 abducted in fresh Kaduna raid. Borno bomber dies. The EFCC uncovers 324 houses and documents for Kano pensioners. All of this on the Punch newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this whole Delta situation literally just got me.
Very,
I mean, it's really sad.
The pictures there of those who have fallen, and I do it. And as much as we talk about how, this has happened in North, have they fought back that way? It's no excuse. It's no excuse. I mean, two wrongs, that it happens or they didn't reprise it. You don't know the current situation of things, as it were.
Of course.
It's the North has been a war zone for a very long while. The military have done what they can. But having to see someone who goes to serve, who goes to protect lives in such a manner, quite very sad. So we should not try to excuse it by talking about whatever happened in some other place.
It's really sad anyways. Moving on now to The Guardian, we have inflation and rising construction costs. We have low middle class defer. Home ownership plans for food. We have that on page 6. To the right there, beside the infographics. For the infographics, we have with 30% of income needed for mortgage, it's difficult for workers earning 100,000 naira to own a home. And to the right of that, we have February food inflation, 37.92%. And to the right of that, we have courts convict 5 for murder, kidnapping in Rivers. We have that on page 8. Settle Nasu. SANU members urgently. NLC tells governments. We have that on page 3. And to the left there, we have Tinubu meets Edo APC chiefs over state crisis. We have that on page 5. Below, we have Sanwo-Olu, ex-governors, others call for new constitution. We have that on page 7. Terrorism, Ohaneze cautions Tinubu as gunmen abduct dozens in fresh Kaduna attack. We have that on page 6. Looting depicts misrule, misery, and decadence in society. We have that on page 12. And down the strip there, we have implementation hurdles for QPS provisions in new electricity acts. We have that on page 4. Metering gaps remain despite 273.3 billion naira loan to discos for meters. Others, we have that on page 2. I think what catches my attention here, I mean, a lot's catch my attention here, but then again, talking about the call for a new constitution. I remember literally being in law school, even in Uniben, right, during my law classes, and we were going through the constitution, and then we were wondering, like, these laws, they were written, first of all, they were fashioned.
These things were in the 50s,
They
60s.
were written like a long time ago, fashioned
Every
majorly
generation, you should be talking about promulgating new laws and all that, putting all of that together.
Yeah. I mean, some have been amended, adjusted, but then again, majorly.
You know the question? I think
it's
the U.S. House. I think it's the Senate that, as at one particular point now, don't quote me, where you had over 70% of lawmakers, people who actually had something to do with law in their college days and all of that, as it were there. But over here, I don't know what percentage of our lawmakers actually studied law or had anything to do with law.
They just pass anything.
I don't know if that percentage, but I know it's not that high.
Yeah.
You know, so when people who understand law and was in charge of laws, they may be like, you had that feeling and you know that this is outdated.
Yeah, of course.
If you were there, you probably think about it.
Yeah, because thinking about it now, the Constitution is not a joke. Anyone who's sitting there to actually redo that, the person has to literally be, the person needs, like, it's not based on, there are a whole lot of information that literally resources the formation and formulation of the Constitution. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be thorough work. So whoever...
It is. Whichever
on that. So whatever panel.
All right.
They decide to rise.
All right. Chef T's around, yeah?
Yes, she is. And we have Titi also standing there. How far? What's happening in the kitchen? What's this alpha in my mouth today?
All right. Welcome back to the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen for a Tuesday. And who do we have? The one and only Chef Tina. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure having you. You feel like part of our furniture.
You know.
Our fabric. Everything. We remember great things, especially your tall red cap. I missed that hat.
You know, I was just talking about that a
Really?
few days ago to a colleague. I said, man, this cap, eh?
People remember it, don't they?
Titi, there's something I need to do today. I think I should come.
No. Okay, I can take off my own heels for you. Maybe I'll take off my heels for you, but not to worry. They remember that hat for a reason, because every time you came to the kitchen, you made something spectacular.
Yeah.
What are we making today?
Okay. Someone asked me, I said I'm making native pot amala.
Native pot amala.
AKA abula.
Abula, okay. So this is the type of amala we get at Owambe.
Yes, you know that
Party
kind of
amala.
a thing. Yeah.
Okay. So it's different from what we get from maybe like a local buka.
Yeah.
Okay, so local buka, they serve it parap. You're still gonna do that, right? Okay, we're gonna go over the ingredients right now and then get to work. First of all,
These are yam flour.
yam flour, aka elubo. Elubo. Now this yam flour, I've never been able to tell which one is richer than another, because it's almost always the same color, almost always the same texture. There's no impurities,
yeah.
there's no difference. But how do you know the one that's going to come out dark brown? How do you know the one that's going to come out light brown? I don't know.
The truth is that if you want to get the one that will come out dark brown, you go to the market and get it, then process it yourself.
Oh.
Yes, those ones they sell
okay.
there, they mix with lafun, they call it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
For
they
it to
mix
have-
white amala and
the black
dark
amala
amala.
together.
So if you take the yam chips themselves,
So
the
then
dried ones.
The dried one, then you process it, like get it dried.
Okay.
And you now blend on your own.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the advice. Thank you. Yam flour here.
Then we have our locust beans, iru.
Which type of iru is this?
This one is, there's iru woro and
Yes.
iru pete.
Okay.
This is pete.
Bete. So iru woro is what they use for
Ofada.
ofada
Yes.
and efo.
Efo.
Efo
yeah.
iru.
Yes.
So you can't use pete for efo.
You can actually use it. I prefer that because of the strong smell.
Okay, okay.
Fair
All
that.
right. All right. So this is not the dark one. This is the lighter one.
Yes.
Now we have pepper mix
We have
here.
our pepper mix.
What type of pepper is in this?
There is Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh tomatoes. Then I have my tatashe in there.
Tatashe. All right. Smoothly blended.
Smoothly blended.
All the way down.
Yes.
It's not, you don't want chunks in it.
No, because
all
it's
right.
stew.
All right then. Now our meat. What have we done to the meat so far?
I cooked. I always like pre-cooking my things, so
Okay.
you know
So
it will
this
get
is-
going.
this-
We have the assorted meat. See roundabout now.
Yeah, roundabout, assorted. Is that liver?
Yes.
Liver, shaki, and the rest.
Yeah.
Now,
Then our onions, seasoning cubes, salt, palm oil. Then this is our ewedu.
ewedu. Okay, so let's talk about this ewedu now. So I even grow ewedu in my garden. That's how much I like ewedu. But
Really?
mine never gets as green as this. Mine is a little browner
Brown.
when I cook it. It still tastes great, but that green color, how do you get that?
What I do, basically, once I get my ewedu, I'm going to wash, then I just put it in the heat, just a little while, maybe like 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Get it cooked, then I will now blend it. In that way, I'll get it like this.
Okay, so you heat up the leaf
up.
full.
Yes.
You don't blend before heating.
No, no.
Okay.
Before now, I used to blend, and I noticed that I don't get this green. You know, you
Okay.
keep researching to
Yeah.
get the best. So
Okay.
one day I decided to just go through this process, and I find out that it's
All right.
actually, this is since yesterday night.
Wow.
And it's still like
And it's
this.
still going to draw.
Yes.
Fantastic. That's all I need to hear. Then the last ingredient is already on the heat.
This is our
Blended beans.
blended
Right?
beans.
So cooked blended beans. Have you added anything to it?
No, the only thing I have in here, I cooked, then I'll blend.
Okay.
I had crayfish
Crayfish.
and my onions in here.
Crayfish and onions. Now we have to take a quick break. Chef Tina has us covered. She also has an event called the Ikorodu Food Festival coming
Yeah.
up. We're going to be talking about that
Yeah.
after this break.
Welcome back. And of course, on Tuesdays, we definitely talk about parenting. And right now, we're talking about the art and outcome of family values. And discussing this with me today is Aderonke Fasheru, a seasoned professional dedicated to empowering individuals to become exceptional leaders. Aderonke has honed her expertise in soft skills development, focusing on etiquette, emotional intelligence, and leadership. She is the author of 2 influential books, The Leader in You and Poise for Beginners. Welcome back to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing having you here.
Same here.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're talking about the art, right, of family values. So let me start by saying, what are family values?
Okay, thank you for having me again. Always a pleasure to be here. So family values are like a set of moral principles that guide the way a home should be run. And everything you do to build the harmony in the home, like organizations have core values that governs their attitude, behavior, process. It's the same thing with families, just making sure we have a set of tenets that all of us must follow, including dad and mom.
Including that, very, very important you mentioned that. Okay, so now what would you say that these values are literally intentionally set? You say, okay, fine, all of us, let's sit down. Father, mother, children, these are our values. This is how we follow them and all of that. This is what it means. Or, because I know a lot of people, I mean, people just leave.
Assume.
They just, in fact, it just happens, you get?
Okay.
Onto, okay, fine, a couple gets married, they start having kids, and then life just goes on, you get? They don't necessarily take the time out to actually set. So how would you say is best set?
Okay, so I want to refer you to the Asian continent. I think as far as family is concerned, we have a lot to learn from those people. They've refused to open up to innovations that come into family and break their values, break their ideologies. So what I think is the proper thing is for a couple, maybe at the time they're dating, part of the conversations they should have should be how we intend to raise our children. And those values must be established before the children are born.
True.
Before the children even come. If you build the values as they grow, then there's the likelihood of the environment having stronger influence and your values remaining in your home. So that's one. Number 2, the values must be clearly expressed. So I went to see a friend one day, her name is Dolapo Oyeshino, and I got to her house and saw very, very, very boldly inscribed on the wall, Oyeshino's core values. I mean, it meant a lot to me, about 17 things.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if her children just seem to do, you know, toe the same line. And so it's, to answer your question, I would say it must never be assumed. We've got to be intentional about it. And just like they do routine maintenance for airplanes, there must be times where you open a bit, you explain a little more. So when a child is 10, you say, I didn't tell you this when you were 5 because of so, but this is why we do this. So it has to be periodic. It must be evaluated. There must be room for it to be updated so that the children have an impact and have an input in it as well.
Amazing. Okay, so now I'd like to ask for examples of these values, but let me not ask yet, right? Now let's talk about where these values should come from. Okay. So as you said, from the Asian community, I've watched a number of their movies, and like it is literally their backbone. So like they're so, and that's because it's been passed down from generations to generations.
Yes.
So would you say that is literally where it should come from, like from your parents and all of that? And then if you're in a situation where that wasn't necessarily so clear, how can you go about it?
Okay, so if it's fine with you, I'd like to use my family as an example. So I married into the Fasheru family, and they are big on family values. I mean, I didn't meet my father-in-law, but I can almost write a book about him because I see him in his children. Okay, so my husband has a number of men ahead of him, and those men are a replica of everything their father stood for. And I would say the matriarch of the family, their mom, I mean, you get into the Fasheru family and you just align. You don't struggle to fit in. You don't struggle to find your voice. You just align because there's a way things are done. There's a way the children are supposed to. So I'll share some of the values. One of it is honor. So in that family, they pride so much around honor. And it's not about who's older or who is first or who did this first. It's just important that you find yourself in a position of honor and you honor everybody around you. Honor around respect for other people, very, very important. So when we have gatherings, we are eager to see one another. We are eager to do something that will trip the next person because, I mean, it's just us. Another one is excellence. So they tell we the wives that there's a fashion brain, like we're privileged to be in that family.
I love it.
like you don't get surprised when you hear that one fashion is doing something else because the fashion blood is synonymous with excellence. So my children just understand that there's something about the name. I mean, I tell them this name will not break on your own account. We've been building the name up to this time. Yeah. So I would also say the worth of a good name is something that we hold dear. So it's important that the key makers, key stakeholders, I beg your pardon, in a family, father, mom, the children as they grow up, they discuss these things. So I feel family values enhances communication in the home, it enhances harmony, and it breaks societal values. One of the reasons why some certain orientations can't get into a particular place is because the family has taken their position.
Yes.
I personally believe the solution to our problem in Nigeria is fixing the families.
Of course, I know it said, like, family is the core unit.
Yeah.
Right? And when you can look, when you see the society, you can literally tell where the issues are. Because once the family is right, definitely everyone is coming from a family. Do you understand? Now, I have to ask this question, which may actually seem quite, I don't know, sensitive, maybe, in your situation now. So we're talking about you getting married to a family that have their values in place. Now, what does that do to your own personal values?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I got into the family, I had my values. So I was looking for a situation where I wouldn't be starting everything entirely new. So I was looking to get into a place where aligning would just be helping me to become a better version of myself. Okay. And that was what I found getting into that family.
So it was kind of aligned, right?
Oh,
your values.
a lot.
Right.
The only challenge is those who are the children born into fashion families, like a very tall order. Very tall order. So for you to fit in, I hear some of my nieces, my married, say to me, because I mean, there's a certain way. I'm an HR practitioner, and I know that there's something called a work personality. In our family, there's a fashion personality.
What you're saying is giving me so much joy. And okay, so now for people out there who are not used to these things, but they actually really want to cultivate these values and make them as core and with so much identity that we can match the name, right? How would you advise they go about that?
Okay, so thank you for that. I would say the last time, that tree beside your house, if you admire it so much, you didn't have a chance to be there when it was planted. But if you love it so much and you want to replicate, you have to do something now and stop wishing. So instead of wishing and hoping and assuming that the Messiah will come and fix the family, we've got to be intentional. We've got to be practical. So family values are so practical. They are tangible. Those values are intangible, but the act has to be tangible. So it's a good time to sit down and talk about it. Nobody should impose his or her personal values on another person. It has to be shared responsibility, shared values. Sit down and agree, this is what we think we should do. And once we agree, it has to be written down. Then we must create moments. So I like the aircraft space. And I like the fact that one of the reasons why we don't have frequent issues of crashes is because of the routine maintenance. Yeah, so I think families should also adopt a system of routine maintenance. Again, in fashion family, we have a practice of doing December together. And we don't just go there to eat. We go there to see that our ideologies are strengthened. So one child doesn't surprise us from anywhere. So I think it's important for families to sit down, create these things, and look for ways of updating it by allowing everybody to have an input into it.
So yes, now on that, resting on that, now is my next question. Now, talking about everyone having an input into it, right? Whose core responsibility would you say it is to uphold the family values? Mother or the father?
That's a very dicey question, and that's a challenge to the men out there. I would say if the men rise up to it, the job will be a lot easier. It's twice as difficult if it has to be the job of a woman. But if it has to be the job of a woman, then she might just try to look for creative ways, because the children that we are building are children. It's his future and my future. If I assume he's not doing it and I feel, oh, let me do something else, I'm going to leave that future with him.
Very
so
true.
it's just important that we're humble enough to accept that this would help the family and we do it together.
All right, amazing. So one last time, give us examples of those core values which you think will actually help any family.
Okay, thank you so much. So I would say respect for people. It's important that as children start to express themselves, start to relate with one another, they understand that there's a need for respect. They don't assume respect will come. It's true that respect is reciprocal, but respect should start from you. I choose to say respect must start from me. So respect for people, that aligns a lot with the mental health issues, because you're thinking of somebody else instead of just saying how you feel. The way you say it is very important. So respect for people. I also want to say consistency. So over the weeks, I've fallen in love with discipline and consistency. I believe even if you have no talents, and you just decide to start a habit and you're disciplined, you do better than somebody with a bundle of talent. So I love discipline, I love consistency, and then I love people who have value for time. I don't respect people who just feel, let us just do it. When we get there, we'll cross it. I don't like that proverb or that statement. So I value people who understand that time is an asset. So value for time is important. And there should be a flavor of excellence. If it's not excellent, then forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Amazing. As in, this session has literally been very revolutionary. And definitely, I implore all of you out there to try it out. Get your family values on check. This is very, very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much for literally having this time with us. We literally have one more week, right?
Yes.
Yes, next week. And we'll definitely be seeing you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right. That's it right here for now. Still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Now, we always intend to create the most worthwhile experience with every single moment, making everything we do specially curated for you.
Woo.
Yeah?
Oh, God. Just as I saw, just like roses, all right? As I said roses now, my heart is just because I'm under...
Somebody wants you to give them roses.
Titi will talk now. We'll talk, I will need your help, MM. Winfrey, Okoyemi. It's not me, it's somebody that is she's a serious one. It's a community.
Roses.
It's a community thing.
Really?
It's something, it's a, what do you call this thing? When intervention. Oh. That's the word. So we'll get to that.
Intervention to make him more romantic, maybe.
I'm not talking again.
Okay, well, just like roses that you mentioned, roses, they're actually rose fossils that date back 35 million years. And the oldest living rose is 1,000 years old.
Oh, wow.
Now, you are all special and unique to us. That's why we will always provide the best for you.
All right. We give you all the best. We take you through the vicissitudes, the highs and the lows to bring all the things bright and wonderful to you. Still a lot more to come on the show. Of course, we've been doing a lot so far. If you are just joining us, you've missed one full hour. You should be worried a bit, but we've still got 45 minutes more of excitement. My name is Mike Mesekeno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian TV. You can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere across the world through our mobile app, available on iOS and Google Play.
You definitely need internet connection to do that. Well, that is if Shark has not eaten your own cable under the sea. Under the sea. Life there is better.
Wow, really? You don't
take it from me. All right, of course, you can hit us up. It's at TVC Entertainment _. That's where you can hit us up on all social media platforms. We have a whole lot. We've had a wonderful... I'm looking forward to the performance, by the way, because he's always around whenever it comes to the Ramadan period to give us a wonderful performance, of course. And that performance is going to be by Hib Adis, who has been, serenading us during the Ramadan period.
Our wellness coach, Rami, is going to be here, an esteemed wellness coach and distinguished senior faculty from the Art of Living Institution. Now, he is, over the past 20 years, he's been involved with this organization, and he's served as a catalyst for profound transformation for many different individuals. The importance of mindfulness is what we're talking about today. Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, I know a lot of times I've literally joined several yoga classes, right? And of course, the International Women's Day, we had Rami.
Yes,
you tell us the importance of mindfulness. However,
Wait. Rami.
Mike.
Yes.
He's a guy.
Yes.
It was,
guy.
yes.
The one I saw there.
You see, when you make
No wonder
yourself...
all of you are so happy. Titi was smiling from...
I'm shaking my head for you.
Yeah.
When you make yourself important to the female gender, we will include you.
He didn't come
our
alone.
system.
Have you seen Rami?
I was
He
there.
didn't come for the event.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not you and Titi, 3 of you.
Please, we are 3 married women. What are they talking about?
And that's where the problem is.
Wow. Anyways, what I was trying to say is, so yesterday I was actually reading a book that literally puts the whole idea of mindfulness into perspective, right? So it literally said, imagine trying to park a car that's going at 120 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to park it, like just parking it at that speed.
Fast and Furious.
So you'd have to... You know, I know you understand what drifting is.
Yes, of course.
So you
it
have to
literally
drift
says,
into a parking
so that's
spot.
literally what your body's doing throughout the entire day.
Wow.
Right? And then for best delivery later on and maintenance, you can continue to do that. I know my husband who loses his car almost every weekend.
Wow.
Because of all those kind of things, right? You have to
maintain.
He loses his cars.
Losing.
Once my husband is at home, he's not flying, he's under the car.
Wow.
Losing something, tightening something,
Changing
changing one
something,
thing,
walking,
and all of that.
wow.
Yeah, so because of the speed and all of that, right? So the same thing your body does. So at the point before you go to bed, you have to literally rein it in, slow down, and then
you can't just park the car.
So that's what mindfulness does.
So in other words, you can't just park the car and expect to have full sleep.
Of course.
You have to tone everything down.
Yeah.
Take a moment. So
do the 4-7-8 roll, breathing roll. Breathing
learned it that day,
4
right?
seconds.
Yeah.
Was it Rami that
Breathe.
again?
Hold it 7 seconds.
Hold it
and
7
release
seconds.
For 8.
Release.
You're a terrible person.
We should bring and 3 of you to handle that interview because
Wow.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's something that we definitely can learn from when it comes to mindfulness. All right. Okay.
The Wake Up Nigeria kitchen is up again with Chef Tina. Okay, what are we making? Amala. Abula. With gbegiri.
We have the ewedu there.
Yeah, ewedu and gbegiri. So, gbegiri for me, the first time I had gbegiri, I'm putting it on the heat now. We took it off the heat so we could show you how it's put together. So this is beans, cooked beans.
We washed it first,
Washed.
like the moi moi.
Yeah. Did you remove the skins?
Yes.
Okay, you remove the skins.
Chopped. Then we now cooked it, made it very soft.
Okay.
I cooked it with onions. Then when I wanted to blend it, I added little crayfish to it.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
Winifred was asking, he said, why is it still like this?
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Okay.
People have been looking for that twist.
That twist, yeah?
About the...
So you've added palm oil
added
now.
palm oil.
So
you can see the gbegiri.
Yes, that's the color that we're used to.
Yeah.
I was trying to tell a story. So the first time I had gbegiri, it wasn't with amala. It was with tuwo.
Wow.
Yes. So as a child, I think between the age of, I think I was a teenager, probably 12, 13. We used to buy tuwo shinkafa, and they used to serve it with gbegiri and ewedu. I didn't know it would work with amala until when I was a lot older.
Wow.
So it was always ewedu and stew, but no gbegiri for amala for me when I was growing up.
Really?
So I feel like this is more of a new twist.
To you?
Yeah, to me. That's how it feels. It still feels new.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think I have to figure out how to make tuwo again. I don't really know how to make it myself. But how long do we still need to wait on this gbegiri to be done now?
Do you know amazing part of it? Once you pre-cook and you blend, let's say like 3 minutes is okay.
3 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have 3 minutes on the gbegiri now. The ewedu has been warmed up. It is nice and green and is drawing well.
Then we have our stew.
Ooh, look at the stew looking nice and red. That is the combo of colors that we like to see at a buka. Now, this is the part I need to see. Because this is the work. This is the real work. All right. So the yam flour, or should we call it elubo?
Elubo.
Did you put it into cold water or into hot water?
I just pour it direct when my water was already boiled.
Okay, when your water was boiling.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how do you get the lumps out? Because that's usually the challenge when people are making amala.
The truth is that it's not everyone that can make amala.
Okay.
Like, seriously. It's not everyone. And once you start from the beginning, there's no how it will have lumps.
Okay.
And you know those ones that they have in the buka that they will now bring the pots down, you know?
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
I don't go through that process. Because
It's
what
long.
I just know that it's good to know it right.
Okay.
So
the process is the water is hot, you add the powder to it.
then you just keep stirring.
Just keep stirring.
You keep stirring so it will you will not have lumps. But if you don't stir almost immediately, you can't run away from it.
Can't run away from the
Yes.
lumps. All right. So I know that there's another process now that's more modern where they use electric mixers to do it. You know, you even see it on TV, those big industrial mixers. You see them with the big bowls. Does that change the taste, in your opinion, from the hand-turned amala?
Not really. Everything, the way things are out there now is just the easiest process. Nobody's ready to spend much time in the kitchen. I had an order and I catered for an event. They wanted me to make pounded yam.
Wow.
And the lady was like, she wants that pounded yam from the mortar.
Wow.
And I told her, there's no problem, I'll do that for you.
Okay, no problem.
So, you know, doing that,
Mortar.
I brought out the mortar. I tried the first, the second batch. The third one has lumps, so let me not lie.
Wow, woo. Because the stress.
The stress of, you know, when
pounding.
there's a, you can use food processor to make pounded yam. And
There
you
are even
can-
yam pounding
there's-
machines
Yes, there's
now.
yam pounding machine. It's been there, years.
I
When I was
know.
little, that's what we were using.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Now, for you making this at home, you want to make your own abula and gbegiri, please check out the ingredients. Now we have assorted meat, pepper mix, ewedu, beans, palm oil, seasoning cubes, salt, iru, onions, and of course, yam flour. Now, when it comes to these ingredients, they're easy to find in the market. You might even already have them at home.
At home, yeah.
Chef Tina has us covered. While we take a quick break, don't worry, food is ready. Chef Tina is here. All right, then stay with us. Now, if there's one thing we are passionate about on Wake Up Nigeria, it is food. So when we hear about a food festival in Lagos, we're always eager to find out a lot more, and we know you are too. And to do that, we have Chef Norris and Chef Dolasis right here on the couch with us. And they're here to talk about the Ikorodu Food Festival. Welcome to the show.
Yo, thank you. Good morning.
All right, so both of you are chefs.
Yes.
Yep.
Chefs. Okay, so chefs, Ikorodu Food Festival. How did this all come to be? How did it begin? Let us know.
Oh, well, it was an idea from one of us.
Okay.
And we felt it would be nice that we give Lagosians a taste, a native taste, you know, try to see how we can bring back those native meals that have been missed due to migration.
Okay,
So we
okay.
said, okay, fine. Ikorodu is a good hub where everybody is, so let's have that there.
All right then. Now, specifically Ikorodu this time.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do the food festival in Ikorodu?
Well, from time, let's say recently or so, Ikorodu has not had any food festival before.
Okay.
So it's like opening Ikorodu to the world because people don't believe things like this can happen in Ikorodu.
Okay.
And it's like a local domain. And because we are coming in with our local cuisine,
Yeah.
we think Ikorodu will be our best avenue for starters.
All right, fantastic. Now, what do we expect from this food festival? Now, you've mentioned native meals. Is there a certain number of chefs or is there a certain set of activities specific to this event? Talk to us.
Okay, for this project, it's more of food vendors coming to showcase.
Okay.
Going down to those who do the very native and local meals.
Okay.
There'll be entertainment there too.
Okay.
Music, there'll be dance competition, there'll be eating, drinking.
All right.
It's going to be a fun day, 3 days. It's going to be 29th, 30th, and 31st.
3 days.
Yes.
Okay.
It's of fun, of food, of networking too. So,
Okay, all right.
the people.
So I can see you've really thought this out. 3 days of activities there. The food vendors, is it still open to vendors, by the way, or is it closed?
Yes, it's still open.
It's open to vendors. So if anyone wants to come and get a stand, they can still do that?
Yes, they can reach out to us.
Okay, fantastic. But is it only for cooked food, or is it for also dry ingredients and dry foods, grains and stuff like that? What can I display if I come?
Okay, so when we say food festival, we are generalizing food.
Okay.
We are not just restricting to cooked food or cooked meals and things like that. And we want vendors that have dry foods, that have spices.
Okay.
We would love them to come in because the guests that we're expecting, they should have a field of varieties. Okay. They should have grace to buy things home, spices they would not normally see in the stores and things like that. So it's open to anything food.
Usually, whenever people hear of fairs or festivals, they expect to be able to buy things at very low prices. So I have to ask, we know how the economy is.
Exactly.
This is Ikorodu, and it's not considered an area where, you know, there's a lot of spending going to happen, if you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say people in Ikorodu have money. I didn't say that too. That's not what I said. What I said, you don't, imagine people at Ikorodu going to do a lot of spending. But here at the food festival, can we expect good prices?
Yes, very good prices at affordable prices.
Okay.
We're also working with some brands who are making their products available to our food vendors, so thereby crashing the price as much as possible.
Okay.
You can get to an extent up to 50% discount, but that's based on the brands coming in. So we have a couple of brands we want to support, and if you're okay, the best way to do is to, looking at the economy, of course, instead of spending so much, you get maybe up to 50% discount on each meal.
Wow.
We are still open to more brands coming up.
To support
the program.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's an outdoor venue, yes?
Yes, an outdoor venue.
Where is it happening?
Ikorodu Town Hall.
Ikorodu Town Hall.
Car park, yeah.
Okay. So it has a car park? It's
very big.
Massive.
Very massive.
All right, so I've never been there. This would be an opportunity for me to see
A big opportunity.
Ikorodu Town Hall. I love the idea. I love it. It's going to be outdoors for 3 days.
3 days, yes.
Okay.
3 days of fun.
Easter weekend.
Yes.
That's very key. I was actually going to say, is it a public holiday? Because if you have an event for 3 days, you expect people to be able to come in at any time. So from what time to what time are we open?
9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right. So at the Ikorodu Town Hall, we're going to come, we're going to see loads of different types of food.
Yeah,
and we're going to meet some chefs.
Yes.
Any competitions going on during the events?
We have plans for competitions, but not necessarily for chefs.
Okay.
Yes.
Because chefs are already, they've made their names and their brands.
Yeah.
We want upcoming people that aspire to be chefs to come up, and we just want to encourage them and push them on.
Fantastic. Yeah. I can't wait for the amazing pictures that are going to come out of this event. I can't wait to post and repost them myself. And of course, if you want to find out more about it, you can just visit them on Instagram. That's Ikorodu Food Festival. Yeah. Chef Tina is a huge part of this, and we've been cooking and talking with Chef Tina in the kitchen. Now, anything Chef Tina is, look at the amala. Hey, the abula is getting there. It's getting there. I can't wait. And we're going to see loads of stuff like that at the food festival as well. Okay, then let's take a quick break. We'll be back. There's still more on Wake Up Nigeria.
We have an esteemed wellness coach and distinguished senior faculty member at the esteemed Art of Living Institution. Now, over the course of 2 decades, he has been involved with several organizations as a catalyst for the profound transformation of countless individuals. And today, our topic is the importance of mindfulness, being in the moment. Rami is in the house. It is great to have you. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
Now, I see why all the ladies were so excited about International Women's Day and all of that. We're going to be talking about all of that. But, we're talking about mindfulness. First of all, when you say mindfulness, that term, what do we mean by mindfulness?
If you ask me, mindfulness is an oxymoron. So when the mind is full, it is always thinking about something else, about whatever is there. So I think it should be more about having an empty mind. Because when the mind is empty, when there is no stress, when you're more centered, more balanced, automatically it's more in the moment, experiencing what is happening around you.
Wonderful. Now, so how does one stay in the moment, as it were? Considering that, I mean, we are in a society where you have to think of the future so much.
Yes.
A lot of times, some people even about the past.
Yes.
But then you're talking about staying in the moment, and that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do.
Yes. So you know, thinking about the future or the past is not bad. It's okay. It's good to plan. It's good to learn from our mistakes as well. But the issue is when the mind gets stuck in the past. If there is some trauma and the mind gets stuck in that trauma in the past, or if there is some anxiety about the future and the mind gets stuck in the future, that is when we miss the moment. You know? That's why, you know, being the moment is so underrated, because, you know, it's like buying a ticket to a movie and sitting with your eyes and your ears closed. So when you're not in the moment, or rather when the mind is not in the moment, you're missing out on life. Missing out on moments with your children, with your family, at work, with your colleagues, with your friends, maybe on your vacation. So when you're aware, you know, if you notice in the day, the mind keeps vacillating between the past and the future. This is how the mind is. So when we are a little more aware of this, you notice that, you know, you relax a little, you start observing what is going on, and you know, then you make a step towards making an effort to be more in the moment.
In fact, some people, it's when the moment becomes a memory. That's when some people know that, oh, I actually had a good time, because we're so fixated on the past and the future. So how does one do this practically? How does one try to stay in the moment?
So, you know, controlling the mind with the mind is very difficult. Like if you don't get sleep, you cannot push yourself to sleep. If you are feeling emotional stress, you cannot say, oh, I will not feel that anymore, because it's always there. But you know, the mind has a very deep connection with our breathing. If you notice, whenever you're angry, the rhythm of your breath is different, right? When you're happy, it is different. When you're exercising, it is different. And it is very easy to control our breathing. We can control the in-breath and the out-breath and the flow of the breath. We can lengthen the breath, we can shorten the breath. So if you notice, when we are more relaxed, the breath is much more longer and deeper. When we are anxious, the breath is shorter, yeah. So if we can consciously do some deep breathing in the day, like we have spoken in the last few episodes that we have had here, if we can do some conscious effort to, you know, maybe just for 5 or 7 minutes a day, we practice the box breathing, what you will notice that the mind automatically rests more in the moment, comes back to the moment. So it's about coming back to the moment again and again.
When should we do this? When is the best time to do this sort of breathing exercises?
So you know, the ideal time is when you wake up in the morning before you leave for your work, or even before you start your day. If you can take a few moments just to get that balance, get that focus. Even you can do it in the middle of the day, you know, when you feel a little tired, when you feel that your attention is not there. That's also a good time to do it.
So even at you can take your break from work and do all of that and put it, and then how about at the end of the day?
Yes, definitely, especially when you're going back to your family. You know, we normally carry so much stress back home. Even that's also an excellent time, you know, just before you go home or when you reach home also. If you can take a few moments, just so you're 100% in the moment there for your family as well.
Now, this is basically meditation you're talking about. What are the tools that can help us meditate? Now, there can be a lot of distractions. Maybe there are kids in the house. You might not be alone in the house. Are there tools that can help us steady our mind, put us in the moment, help us for this breathing exercise, help us meditate?
Yes, you know, technology is right there available for us. So we have guided meditations on YouTube. So you can just plug yourself in for 10, 15 minutes. Like we listen to music all the time, right? So you're just listening to something for just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it'll just effortlessly bring you back to the moment. And you notice that, you know, over a period of time, the more consistent you are with your practice, the mind stays more in the moment effortlessly. That's the idea.
You see, that's the thing, because some people feel like maybe you do it once and you don't seem like there was any impact in some sort of way. How does one keep up that consistency when it seems as though, you know, it doesn't just happen all at once? Because some people try it once and I was still feeling the same way. But you mentioned consistency. How important is it to be consistent with this exercise?
You know, see, we never forget to brush our teeth, right? Or wear the outfit that is appropriate to that day or work. Similarly, you know, mental hygiene is also equally important.
Mental hygiene. I like that term. Mental hygiene. And that's something that people don't even do at all.
Yes, they don't pay attention to it. They feel that if their appearance is good enough and, they are doing the bit, it is enough. But the more calmer you are, the more centered you are, it makes you even more effective as a leader, as a person, as a spouse, as a friend.
And now I know you have events at Wellness Center and all over. How important is it for people to, have meets or have this kind of events where they can meet with a number of people and Happiness Center, pardon me, and be a part of, a group, doing this in a group? How important is it to do it in a group?
So when we celebrate or even when we go to watch a sport, it's more fun when we have a group because
Very true.
When we sit in a group, it uplifts the energy. Even when people go to protest, a person never goes alone, right? He calls his friends and say, oh, let's go and protest.
Let's go together. You need that energy.
So the group energy is always very effective to uplift oneself. And another easy way, like you mentioned, is to do a workshop. Like we have these workshops that happen every weekend. We have a workshop called the Happiness Program, in which we are taught a rhythmic breathing technique that you can practice every day, which again brings your mind back to the moment.
Wonderful.
Then we have another workshop, it's called the Art of Meditation. So, meditation, often you sit with your eyes closed and the entire thoughts in your life just come rushing to you, right?
Can you give us a 30-second demo on how one can easily meditate?
Okay, sure. Okay, so you can just sit with your eyes closed.
Okay.
Now, of course, this is not for the people if they are driving to work right now.
Don't do that.
Very dangerous.
Okay.
Okay, so you can just sit relaxed, just sit with your eyes closed. So you can just observe the noises around you. If there are any noises, just observe the noises.
I can hear Titi.
And just be in harmony with your surrounding. Just let those noises be. Now observe your body. Just be aware of the seat that you're sitting on. Just relax the body a little. Now bring your focus on your breath. Notice the rhythm of your breath. When we breathe in, the body gets energy, and when we breathe out, the body relaxes. Simply be with the breath. And slowly, you may open your eyes.
Titi, your feet. But I do get the idea. You said something about observing the sound around you. When you observe the sound, do you try to push it away or do you take it into you?
It's about acceptance. The more relaxed you are,
you accept it.
Yeah, you just let it be. It's like children playing in the house, right? After some time, you don't hear them anymore. They don't bother you. So it's just about letting it be so that the mind does not get fixated on the outside and just comes more inward.
Wonderful. Rami, I'm looking forward sometime I will visit the Happiness Center, and it's somewhere where people can come to and be a part of it, right?
Sure. Yes,
Wonderful.
definitely.
Wonderful.
We have events happening every weekend, so you're most welcome.
There's always something at the Happiness Center. I would recommend it to anyone out there. Thank you, Rami.
Thank you so much.
Rami, after such meditation, I hope you're not fasting. Are you fasting?
Yes, yes.
You are fasting?
Yes.
Well, we'll still get into the kitchen. Just maybe just have a pictorial look at our food and just give it a rating just based on what you see.
Okay.
All right, so let's head over to the kitchen. Okay.
All right. Yes, now this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Chef Tina's amazing abula and the begiri.
It looks so good.
It looks so good, right?
That's a Togo flag.
It looks, yeah, it looks like a flag. So many colors and flavors all there in one dish. I love the plate as well.
The native pot.
This is a native pot. It's cast iron, I believe.
Yes.
And it helps to keep it hot for a long period of time. Now, Rami apparently is on a fast right now, so he's not going to be tasting this, but you need to make sure you show up for the food festival and come taste it. Please do, please do. So, Mike, Winnie.
No, you want to try, one of you should try that. Let's,
Mike, I think it's
Denny.
you.
Mike?
Denny,
Mike is you. No.
What? Mike, you know you want
I
to.
can feed you.
I will.
Yeah, what?
All right. Well, I'm gonna taste it because Chef Tina always blows my mind. I'm just gonna dig in. It's soft and fluffy.
And amazing. This particular meal is going to be served at the Golden Food Festival.
Yes, it will. Okay, let's do this. Melts went straight down. No issues. I want to attack those obstacles, but if I start, I won't be able to speak. All right, then.
You don't need to speak. Just keep
I shouldn't speak. Oh, yeah, cool. I've earned my salary for today.
Thank you so much, Rami. It's been a pleasure.
I'm going to go ahead.
And thanks to everyone that joined us on the show today. Mike, don't judge. What's that?
We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.